All right, looking at example 3, multiplying polynomials. So it asks us to take one polynomial and multiply it by another one in a vertical format. So I'm going to take the first one, and I'm going to say 3x squared plus 3x plus 5. And I'm going to be multiplying it by the second one, which is 2x plus 3. And so this is like the vertical format right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, the second row right here, and I'm going to take the first term of the second row, and essentially I'm going to multiply this first term in that second polynomial by each polynomial above it, right? So I'm going to take 2x times this, 2x times this, 2x times this. So when I do that, I take 2x times 3x squared and get 6x cubed plus, and then I take 2x times 3x to get plus 6x squared, and then take 2x times 5 to get plus 10x. All right, so I took care of this one. I took care of the 2x, and now I have to go to the 3. And I have to take the 3 and also multiply it by each term in the above polynomial. So I'm going to take 3 and multiply it to the 3x squared, to the 3x, and also to the 5. So I'm going to go ahead and say 3 times 3x squared. Well, that's going to give me 9x squared. Now when I put it below, I want to make sure I keep my like terms lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is 9x squared, but I'm going to automatically put it in this column so that it right away matches up with the term above it. Then I'm going to take plus 3 and multiply it by 3x. So that's 9x, so that'd be plus 9x here. And then 3 times 5 is 15, so I have a plus 15 here, and there's no slots over here to put to combine it with. So now I have these two things that I multiplied, and now I'm going to go ahead and add these two things together vertically. So I'm going to look at each column, and now I have 6x cubed plus nothing, so that's going to stay as 6x cubed. I'm going to look at the next row for the x squares, and that's going to be plus 15x squared. And then I have plus 19x plus 15. So there is one way to multiply polynomials, and that's kind of the vertical, what they call the vertical format. Okay, so let's try another one. The second part of this problem says multiply polynomials but in a horizontal format. So again, same idea here. We're going to have x squared minus 2x plus 3. And I'm going to multiply that by the second one, which is x minus 5. And so when you multiply these together in a horizontal way, you're essentially doing the same thing. You're going to distribute one of these terms. So let's say we start with this polynomial right here. Okay, and I'm going to take each term here. So I'm going to highlight this one in red and say, all right, well, the x squared needs to be multiplied by both terms in the second polynomial, or in the second parentheses. So I can match those up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take x squared and multiply it by this term to give me x cubed. But then also multiply x squared to the negative 5, or the plus negative 5, to give me minus 5x squared. Okay, so I basically distribute. I take that x squared and I distribute it to both terms in the second polynomial. Okay, well then I have to basically do the same thing to each of the terms if I'm starting in this first parentheses. All right, so I took care of the x squared. Now I want to take the second term there and just work my way to the right. Now I have negative 2x. But that term also has to distribute to each term in the second parentheses. So I have to do the same thing. But I'm just keeping it horizontal. So now I have negative 2x times x. Well, that's going to be a minus 2x squared. And also a negative 2x times a negative 5. So that's going to be plus a 10x. And then guess what? We have to do the exact same thing. But now I'm going to go to the last term, which is plus 3. And now I have to distribute that term. So that 3 has to distribute to the x and to the negative 5. So 3 times x is 3x. And then 3 times negative 5 is negative 15, or plus a negative 15. So basically we keep this, everything is horizontal. And I would say that the second method, I guess in my book, is kind of a more traditional format. It's the method that I'm probably most used to. So again, it doesn't matter which way you choose. But if we continue and finish this problem now, everything is just on one line. We're going to combine our like terms. So I look at the x cubed, right? And there's nothing to combine it with. There's no like term there. So that's it. I'm going to take the x cubed and bring it down. Then I'm going to look at these two terms. And those are like terms, right? So I have negative 5x squared minus 2x squared. And since those are like, I can combine them to negative 7x squared. So negative 7x squared. And let me just cross these off because I'm already done with them. And then I look for more like terms. So I have the x's that are like. 10x plus 3x. Well, that's 13x. So plus 13x. And I already used those, so let me cancel those off. And then I have a minus 15. So minus 15, there's nothing to combine there. I'm just going to go ahead and bring it down, and there's my answer for that second one. So again, when we multiply polynomials, basically we have to multiply every term in each parentheses by the other terms in the parentheses. So if you look at this first parentheses, there's 3 terms, and the second parentheses, there's 2 terms. So we're going to have a total of 6, 3 times 2, 6 different multiplications that we're going to have to take care of, because we basically have to multiply each one of those terms and kind of distribute it to the other term. So we have 6 different things here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we combine our like terms. All right, so if you want to give it a try, you need a practice problem here. You can go ahead and pause it, give this one a try, and do a quick check here. All right, so for this one, if you multiply it together, x plus 2 times 3x squared minus x minus 5, your answer should be 3x cubed plus 5x squared minus 7x minus 10.